Well, the day has come. It's about 9:30 in the morning. It's hardly any breeze, so if the breeze picks up, please overlook that. Just kind of want to give you the perimeters of what I'm doing. I will be shooting through my chronograph, obviously. And I'm going to be testing 4 of my gunpowders, and I'll let you know as I load the gun what they are. And what I'm going to do first is go with my 3F Goex, and I'm going to take a fouling shot first. Just simply because something that I've observed, and I could be wrong, but I just want to see it for myself, is that first shot down a clean barrel seems to produce less feet per second than the next shot. And I'm theorizing that that's because that fouling helps create a better seal with that second shot going down the barrel. Now, I will not be swabbing between shots. I'm just going to load my shots and shoot. I'm going to be using my Elephant 4F in the flash pan until I get to the Basswood. I have some 4F Basswood, and I just kind of want to see how that reacts in the flash pan. So anyhow, I think that's the perimeters. I'm going to be going with a 70 grain charge, because that's what I normally shoot. Even when I'm at a rendezvous and I'm shooting a trail walk, I shoot 70 grains. A lot of people ask, why are you shooting so much powder? It's not necessary. I know what my flintlock does with 70 grains of powder, and I'm using my flintlock. When it comes to my Lyman's Great Plains, yes, I actually cut that powder charge down to about 50 if I'm close range. But when it comes to my flintlock, I want to shoot 70 grains all the time because I know how this gun performs. So let me get loaded up here, and we'll see what kind of numbers I can come up with. And I'm only going to be shooting 1 shot of each powder at 70 grains, except for the first charge. I want to foul my barrel and look at those numbers. So let me get resituated here, and hopefully we can come up with something that is agreeable. Stay tuned. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I put the patches between my gum line and my cheek, and I took a swig of water. These patches are lubricated enough. So I'm going to take the first shot, fouling shot. I am using my own home cast balls that I actually placed between 2 blocks of wood, and I rounded off the sprue. Something that I do on occasion. So I'm going to take the first shot. This is a fouling shot. I will record it because I just want to see what the feet per second difference just may be. .1586. Shot number 2. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with this one, just simply because it doesn't read ready. I'm not familiar with this chronograph, if it'll just actually record the next shot on top of this one. I guess I'll find out. A little bit of a hang fire. 1572. Yeah, that was actually quite interesting. It actually went down quite a bit, actually. So this gunpowder right here is my alligator juniper. And remember, in previous videos, this was the gunpowder that was actually burning through my patches. So let's see what we can do right here. And this is 70 grains by weight, not volume. 1588. This next shot is the barberry that I only compressed or pucked one time, with the exception of the 4F that was left over. That got repucked a second time. So I guess let's see what this is going to do. And just for argument's sake, if you will, this gunpowder is 75, 15, 11. And when I get to the Basswood, I'm using Jake's formula of 77, 13. He goes 10 grams of sulfur, I went 11. And I'm using the sulfur, having that act as a binder. So let's see what this barberry does. $14.42, considerably slower. Well, here's the barberry that I mill for 30 hours, and it should be noted that there is a difference between these two barberries. One of them I used when the barberry was fairly green, and then this barberry that's been milled for 30 hours, I used a completely dead branch. And so let's just see if there's any difference right here. Obviously I missed, but let's see what we got. 1471. Okay, I've decided to take 2 shots with the Basswood. Just simply because what I'm pushing down the barrel right now is dirty gunpowder. And I've picked up all the patches thus far. I can't tell you which one is which, but if you scroll back, you will see that the juniper seemed to burn cleaner. And as we can see already, the juniper has even actually outdone the Goex. So I do have some real dirty patches. I am suspecting that it is the barberry. And so this time I'm going to shoot, try to recover that patch, just see how dirty it is. And I will be using my 4F Basswood in the flash pan. So I'm going to kind of guess how many grains I got right there. Typically I just put 1 grain in the flash pan. And remember, with this batch of Basswood, I'm using Jake's formula. His channel is Everything Black Powder. He's been doing some phenomenal work regarding homemade black powder. I encourage you to check out his channel if you have not already and kind of see what he's been doing with his homemade black powder. And the balsa wood, I'm really impressed to see what that achieved. But also have to remember too, guys, I'm shooting a 50 caliber ball, which is heavier, and I believe Jake is shooting a 45 caliber. So there is a weight difference in the lead, and that may have a difference in the feet per second, which we should all recognize it would. So anyhow, I'm gonna get this one shot done, pick up the patch, and we'll discuss things at that point. Seemed to be a little bit of a hang fire, but let's see what we got. 1406. Damn, that's pretty clean. And remember, this patch was loaded on top of the fowling that was the barberry. So now I'm really anxious to see what this shot does is in terms of being clean. And there again, guys, I'm using Jake's formula of was it 77, 13, 11. The 11 is the grams of sulfur, but that's my choice. And I'm mildly surprised that the feet per second dropped considerably more than my other tests, and in particular my juniper. So I'm going to get primed up, take the last shot, find the patch, and we'll see where we're at. $14.05. So to be consistent and to start the review, I moistened up this cleaning patch, ran it down the barrel, and that's what came out of it, and that's after that final shot with Basswood. And there's the two patches. One of them, the patch on the right, was the patch that I had loaded after shooting the barberry and loading the first shot with Basswood. And then the second patch, the one on the left, is the Basswood loaded and then shot again. And you can see there's, well, I can see from here, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but that second patch, it looks to me like that Basswood burned very proficiently. All right, my first shot was with Goex 3F. It was my fouling shot, and I recorded a speed of 1586. My second shot with Goex 3F was 1572, so I was a little surprised to see that actually lower in feet per second. I was surprised because I would have expected it from what I've watched other people shooting through a chronograph. The second shot tends to jump up a little bit. Now, bear in mind, again, I'm shooting a 50 caliber, and I'm using a spit patch. I don't clean in between shots or every fifth shot, sixth shot. I just ran this entire session without cleaning the gun barrel at all. All right, the third shot was my juniper, and that recorded a speed of 1588. So that even outdid the Goex in both shots. Even the fouling shot, 2 feet per second more, but that was going down a dirty barrel instead of a clean barrel. The barberry, the fourth shot, now this particular barberry is the one that I had actually milled once, and it was a fairly green wood. Just to reiterate, I had a small fire on my property that a neighbor started, burnt some junipers and the barberry, and that barberry hadn't even been on the ground for 4 months or so, somewhere in that time frame. So it's not, hasn't even been on the ground for a year at the time that I made that gunpowder. And let's see, just to reiterate, that one recorded a speed of 1442. Now the barberry that I had milled for 30 hours, that particular wood was older. It took a branch off of a tree. It was so old that there was actually moss growing on it. You scroll back on the channel, you'll see that I was scraping the moss off and everything else. That recorded a speed of 1477. So I found that that actually got 30 feet more per second than the barberry that had a lot more moisture in it. And then the basswood, and bear in mind, this was Jake's formula of 77, 13, 10, but as I mentioned earlier in this video, I actually add another gram of sulfur, and I let the sulfur act as a binding. That basswood, with his formula, only recorded a speed of 1406, but curious enough, it was a very clean burning powder. So anyhow, take it for what it's worth. Is this really going to change anything that I do? Absolutely not. As far as I'm concerned, the difference between that fouling shot at 1586 and the basswood shot at 1406, obviously you have 100 feet per second less, actually probably closer to 2. But my thought process is this: are you less dead at 1406 or more dead at 1586? You know, you have to decide that for yourself. For me, I've said it in previous videos, and these numbers show it. My juniper black powder is right on par with the Goex 3F. And bear in mind, I don't glaze my powder, and I don't coat it with any graphite. So anyhow, guys, I hope that you can glean something from this. I obviously have. Thanks for watching. I hope that you'll take a few moments to like and subscribe if you have not already. And be willing to share this with your bestest of buddies. Have a great day, and we'll catch you next time around. Bye.